Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's been quite a few days since our last YouTube video update. We're going to hop on here and give an update in regards to the weekend as well as what's looking like for next week. We have some interesting things to talk about, starting with the waterspout potential over the next couple of days. So, if you haven't heard all the hype around the waterspouts, this is very common here in the fall time when we have cooler air masses overlapping with the warm lake water temperatures. The combination, and we have some lift in the air with low pressure passing, we're going to have a ripe environment for waterspouts. In fact, the International Center for Waterspout Research puts out these forecasts on their website here to their YouTube page as well. Now, the colors are going to run through the time frame here. The brighter the colors, like yellows, reds, and greens, and sometimes blues as well, indicate that there's a higher chance of waterspout potential. So, going through today, we're going to see waterspout potential increase on Lake Michigan according to their model. Tonight, there's some potential across Huron, perhaps Erie as well. The bar on the right side of your screen here, from black to red, black being really no risk at all, to red being the highest, number 10, so 0 to 10 basically. There's your bar graph to compare where the best chances are. So here is tonight, Friday evening at 8 p.m. We're going to start to see increase there on Lake Michigan. But as we get into Saturday morning, watch what happens here. We're going to look at Lake Michigan. The low pressure moves off to our east, and all of a sudden we have potential over here on Lake Huron. Is also Erie, but Michigan stays lit up there as well. And by 8 a.m. Saturday morning, Lake Huron by Port Austin down to Port Sanilac there is lit up here, as well as Lake Michigan down here in the southern part of Michigan, and also Lake Erie as well. All we're trying to communicate here on this model is that waterspouts are almost likely, if not outbreak of waterspouts, is going to be likely on the Great Lakes, mainly Erie, as well as um, Huron and Lake Michigan. So if you want to go out to the lakeshore, the best areas to see those would be probably Lake Michigan for visibility wise. There is also chances on Lake Erie by the Cleveland shoreline across northern Ohio. And I think there's a chance to see some up in the thumb of Michigan by that Port Austin, Port Hope, Port Sanilac, Port Huron area. It may be harder to see those given the storm direction, stuff like that. So keep that in mind. I do think Lake Michigan has the best chance of visible waterspouts, but waterspouts are possible nonetheless on all of the Great Lakes. So the best time frame for that would be early Saturday morning, continuing through the afternoon, and then it should die off as we get into Sunday morning as well. But aside from the waterspout potential there, it's going to be a nice cool day out there, both today, tomorrow, and Sunday. It's going to be probably in the 60s, perhaps low 70s in spots here. The next couple of days of temperatures are cooler, but leading into our next topic of discussion, the next week time frame on Monday, starting mainly Monday and Tuesday, we're going to start to see an increased temperatures back into the mid to upper 80s, maybe even 90 in spots across parts of Michigan. So we're not done with summer by any means. We're just in that 3 day trial of fall, as we like to call it on our Facebook page. Your 3 day trial of fall has been activated. You'll revert back to summer starting Monday. So prepare for a nice stretch of cooler weather here. But as we get toward next week, a warm up back to a summer like pattern is possible. Now, I will say, with that warm up, usually kind of look for storm chances. We're not seeing anything yet, or at least for right now. In fact, I'm going to lean on this and say the humidity levels are going to be on the lower end of the spectrum for next week. So we shouldn't have too much moisture to work with. It should just be a pretty dry, warm heat type of situation where highs are going to be right around that 86 mark across the state, and then minimal storm and rain chances as well through that time period. So overall, water spout potential for tonight as well as mainly tomorrow, starting early morning. And then also as we get into Sunday, we're going to start to warm up gradually. As we get to Tuesday, we're going to be back into the mid to upper 80s come midweek next week. So with that being said, that's all I got to share with you guys. Pretty short video, no severe chances, no major systems working through, but some water spouts to watch as well as a return to summer. All right. With that being said, shout out to the sponsor of the video, Cats Roofing and Siding out of Lansing and Battle Creek metro areas. They do roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. Give them a shout, 517-485-9886. Tell them that Michigan Storm Chasers sent you over there, and they would appreciate that, as would we. With that being said, you guys have a safe day. We'll see you guys Sunday evening for our weekly live stream on Facebook and YouTube.